On Earth, we fear hurricanes, tornadoes, and blizzards. But on Mars, the weather can swallow an entire planet. These are Mars dust storms, towering planet-engulfing tempests that rage with terrifying power and mystery. Why are Mars dust storms? Mars may be dry and barren, but its atmosphere is far from still. Every year, the red planet is plagued by violent dust storms, sometimes small and localized, other times so massive they cover the entire globe. Driven by sunlight heating the thin Martian air, these storms can last for weeks or even months, with winds reaching up to 100 kilometers per hour. It may not sound deadly compared to Earth's hurricanes, but it's not the wind that kills. It's the dust. Why are they so dangerous? Martian dust is like fine, electrified talcum powder, clinging to everything it touches. It coats solar panels, blocks communication, and causes power failures. The exact cause behind the death of NASA's Opportunity rover in 2018. The storm that ended Opportunity's 15-year mission was so massive. It darkened the skies across Mars and shut down solar power generation, a silent killer from which the rover never woke up. NASA now refers to these as planetary-scale events, and they are still poorly understood. New discoveries in satellite observations. Thanks to orbiters like Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO, and Tianwen-1, scientists have made huge strides in tracking how these storms form and move. We now know they begin with local temperature differences, grow from regional instability, and spiral into chaotic whirlwinds, sometimes visible from Earth. Even more intriguing, in 2022, the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter detected electrically active dust devils, potentially capable of generating static discharges or even Martian lightning. If proven true, this would be the first evidence of electrical weather activity on Mars, rewriting everything we thought we knew about Martian meteorology. Why does it matter for future missions? Dust storms present the greatest challenge for human colonization of Mars. They can block sunlight, disable life support systems, and grind equipment to a halt. Any future Mars base must be designed to survive blackout periods, protect electronics from charged dust, and store enough energy to weather the storm, sometimes literally. In the silence of Mars, a storm can rise with no warning and no mercy. To live on the red planet, we must first learn to survive its most ancient and unstoppable force, the storm that swallowed a world. Red skies at night, a global dust storm in sight. As the sun sets over the horizon, Mars turns a deep red color due to all the dust suspended in the atmosphere. This image was taken by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO, using its left-looking camera. MRO is a NASA mission designed to take high-resolution pictures of the Martian surface. Since arriving at Mars in August 2006, the spacecraft has been orbiting the planet and sending back invaluable data. In this picture, you can see a dust storm raging across the entire planet. The dust is so thick in some areas that it completely obscures the surface below. That's because the dust particles are so tiny, around 1/10 the width of a human hair. They can stay suspended in the thin Martian atmosphere for days, weeks, or even months at a time. The light from the sun scatters off these particles, giving the sky a reddish hue. The same effect happens on Earth during a dust storm, but it's much more intense on Mars since the planet's atmosphere is so thin. The low gravity on Mars means that molecules just don't stick together very well. So the atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide with only trace amounts of nitrogen and argon. There's also a lot of dust, which makes sense since the planet is constantly being bombarded by meteorites. All of this creates a perfect condition for dust storms to form. When the sun heats the surface of Mars, the air rises rapidly, carrying dust particles with it. As it cools, the dust condenses and forms clouds. These clouds can reach up to 10 kilometers in height and stay aloft for months. They can also travel around the planet at speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour. And when they do, they can cause total darkness for days or even weeks at a time. During these global dust storms, the skies over Mars can be as dark as a lunar night. And that means that solar-powered rovers like Opportunity and Spirit have to shut down until the storm passes. It can take days or even weeks for the dust to settle, which is a long time to be without power. But it's not just the dust that makes Mars such a harsh environment. The thin atmosphere also means that there's very little protection from cosmic radiation. So if you're unlucky enough to get caught outside during a dust storm, you'd be in for a nasty surprise. The radiation would damage your cells and make you feel very sick. And there's no air to breathe on Mars either. The atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, which humans can't breathe. So you'd need to bring your own air supply or risk suffocating. The low gravity on Mars also makes it difficult for humans to move around. You'd feel much lighter on Mars than you do on Earth, which might be fun at first, but it would quickly become a problem. You'd be much weaker on Mars, so it would be hard to do anything. You'd also have to be careful not to float away since the gravity on Mars is only about 38% of Earth's gravity. So if you let your guard down, you could easily be blown away by the wind. But despite all of these challenges, humans are still determined to set foot on Mars. After all, it's the closest thing we have to a new home. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to live on Mars just like we live on Earth. For more videos of Cosmos in a Minute, follow our channel.